What's going on, Flex Zone family? It's your boy, God's favorite host, the host with the moist, back here on the Flex Zone podcast, only place giving you your sports how you want it, when you need it. And I'm back with another video here on the Flex Zone YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate you. Hit that bell. Appreciate you. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We appreciate you. And welcome to the Flex Zone family again here on this wonderful day. The start of training camp is upon us, and I'm breaking down the Ravens position by position. We've already done offensive line. We've done defensive line. Now I'm going back to the offense to take a look at an important group, the running backs. Dealt with some injuries last year. Guys ready to return, bounce back, and make an impact. And also a guy who we drafted in the 6th round who could be an X factor as well. Thank you guys as always for joining me. Make sure you follow us at the Flex Zone 1 on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, now on TikTok, the Flex Zone Podcast. Hit that Cash App, the Flex Zone 1 on Cash App as well. We appreciate you guys as always. Thank you. Welcome all the new subscribers, and thank you everybody for watching the videos. But the running back position, let's get to it. We know it's very important to this offense. This offense was historically the greatest rushing offense of all time, the most 100-yard games in NFL history consecutively. They fell short, I believe, one game, but they pretty much were able to tie the record. They were able to rush for over 200 yards multiple times, like you said, over 100 yards for all of those consecutive games. We know Greg Roman and his offensive scheme, his offensive coordinator, the best thing he's able to do is develop run plays for his running backs, and then also having Lamar Jackson, who's a guy who's great at quarterback, but also great at running back, who can run for 1,000 yards, adds to that as well. But we're going to focus on the running backs. We know J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, both were hurt last season. J.K. Dobbins went down last season in the preseason, terrible injury. And Gus Edwards went down the same day as Marcus Peters, which we'll talk about with the defensive backs, with a torn ACL. Dobbins was ACL and MCL, so we'll see. There are rumors, there's inklings that he may not be ready for the season. Dobbins saying he will be ready for week 1. Gus Edwards, we haven't heard an update on as of now. We may get one this week or in the next few weeks, but reports are he may be on the PUP list as well. Dobbins could both be on the PUP list. So if those two are on the PUP list, the Ravens did add Mike Davis from Carolina. Mike Davis is a smaller, compact running back who has starting experience in the NFL and has produced pretty well. And if you're telling me we have to go with Mike Davis potentially for the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season as RB1 with Lamar Jackson, probably sprinkling in some Justice Hill, who was also hurt last year. We can't forget that. The special teams guy who he's really good on special teams, and I think a guy we should use more in our offense with the ability to throw to the running backs, use screen passes, use option routes for the running backs, dump offs, dink and dunk type plays when plays down the field aren't open. Mike Davis, Justice Hill, those guys could suffice potentially, but I think Tyler Badie, who we drafted in the 6th round. You don't see him on your screen because they don't have him listed, but I think he will make this team. He's a 6th round pick out of Missouri. He runs a 4.4. He's a smaller running back, about 5'8", a more compact style again, but I think he's a guy who has straight line speed, can make big time plays in the running game and also in the passing game. And he's a guy who could take a 5 or 10-yard carry and turn it into 20, 25 yards. I think he has the ability to play at the NFL level, and I think he could be an X factor in this running back room as well as the season progresses. We know Harbaugh is not going to play many rookies week 1, but when we get into that second half of the season, November, December, the weather gets a little colder and the Ravens are running the football down the opposing team's throat, we could see Badie incorporated more into this offense. Now, I do think Dobbins and Edwards, I think one of them will play week 1. I don't know if both will. If I had to guess, I would say Dobbins will try to play week 1. And if Edwards doesn't play week 1, he'll be back not too long after that, maybe after the first 3-4 weeks of the season. But if I had to pick, because Dobbins' injury did happen sooner before Edwards was in practice before the season, but Dobbins was sooner, which would be at the end of August he was hurt. So pretty much he would have a full 12 months of recovery before week 1. Edwards would be right around that year mark of week 1 as well. So he may need another month or so to make sure he's 100% possibly. And like I said, he could start on the PUP list, miss the first 4 to 6 games of the season. But J.K. Dobbins, I think, will be ready week 1 if I just think of the way he is going to work hard. He's going to practice. And this is a guy I thought last year could rush for over 12 to 1,500 yards and maybe have 300 to 500 yards receiving and be one of the breakout stars in the NFL, be a guy that fantasy owners look for in their leagues with running backs. And when they took him in the second round from Ohio State, I thought he was a reminder of a Ray Rice. More straight line speed, maybe not the quickness and ability to move in and out of the phone booth, in and out of his cuts like a Ray Rice did, and maybe not the receiver Ray Rice was, but when it comes to running straight line, home run ability, he's probably got better straight line speed than Ray Rice, but it compares a lot to Ray Rice as a guy who will get better as his career continues on. He's going into year 3. He missed last year due to injury, but I think Dobbins, with him being out a full year, he will have a chance to play week 1. And Edwards could play week 1 as well. There could be bringing them along slowly, so we may not see both week 1, but I think we could see one of them week 1, and I would take Dobbins probably as my guess. But if you don't have Dobbins, you don't have Edwards. I think if you have to go with Davis, Hill, and Badie for the first 2 to 4 weeks of the season, I think they can suffice. Now, I do think that would mean Lamar is going to run a little bit more than we may have liked, but if Lamar has to throw it 35 to 40 times and rush it 15 to 20 times a game and use these guys like Mike Davis, Badie, and Hill, and use different aspects of a guy like Duvernay maybe to take some carries, you could throw him in the mix with these running backs, using him like a Debo Samuel, using Duvernay on jet sweeps and dump offs out of the backfield and screen passes and handoffs, maybe using Crochet in that instance as well to help be creative, be innovative, do different things if you don't have your two horses in Dobbins and Edwards. Because Dobbins and Edwards, when healthy, are one of the best 1-2 tandems in the NFL when it comes to running backs. Now, I do think the Ravens have to utilize what they have. I think it will be a running back by committee situation early on, as we saw with Devontae Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and Latavius Murray last year. But I do think there's a potential. Like I said, Lamar may run more early on in the season, but I think there could be a situation where we also see using guys like Mike Davis. He's a power back, runs downhill, compact. Justice Hill, maybe using him to run outside. Like I said yesterday with the offensive line, the right side of the offensive line is very strong. Could be a lot of runs and plays to that side. And I think Badie could be a guy who, in going into the second half of the season, could make an impact as well and help this team out in a variety of ways. But let me know what you think about the running back position. Like I said, if Dobbins is healthy, I'm not going to say he's going to get over 1,200, over 1,500 yards just because of the amount of depth this team does have at the running back position. Now, they do have depth. Dobbins, Edwards, Davis, Hill, Badie. I think they will keep all 5 potentially on this team, on this roster. Now, could Badie be on the practice squad and be a guy who could be a taxi guy who could come up and be sent back down if injuries occur or opportunities occur or injuries? I think so. But Dobbins, Edwards, Davis as probably your main 3 right now, starting the season potentially, and Davis probably emerging as the week 1, week 2 running back 1. I'm not mad at it. I think Mike Davis is underrated in my opinion. And I think if this team is able to run the football as I think they will, I think he could surprise some people and he could play well and really help this team early on in the season. And he's 29 years of age. And let me just get his numbers up for you. He was with Atlanta last year, Carolina in 2020, Atlanta last year. In Carolina, he had 642 yards, 6 touchdowns in 2020. And last year with Atlanta, don't forget Cordell Patterson was their running back 1, but he had 500 yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging 3.6 a carry, and in 2020, 3.9 a carry. So could he be able to give us 300 to 400 yards to start the season? I think so. I definitely think that he is a guy who can help out and doesn't have to be the bell cow for the whole season, but if we need him the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season, the first month of the season to be that guy for us, I think he can be. But let me know in the comments what you think about the running back room. What do you think about the injury situation with J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards? What do you think about Mike Davis? Do we see anything from Justice Hill? Does Tyler Badie make an impact on his team? I know he's a 6th-round pick, but I do think he is one of the sleeper draft picks that we made in this past draft. I think he could help his team out eventually second half of the season and maybe going into year 2, playoff run year 2 as well. But I think Dobbins or Edwards, I think at least one of them will play week 1, if not both. And I hope they are back 100%. I think J.K. Dobbins will be a 1,000-yard rusher when he does return. And I think Edwards will be that guy, short yardage, goal line, being able to take those plays and make something out of nothing on 3rd and short, 2nd and short, goal line, 4th down. And then Dobbins can be that home run back, kind of a Thunder and Lightning situation with Edwards and Dobbins as well. But let me know. I'm going to keep the position previews coming, guys. Let me know, what do you want to see next? What do you think about the running back room? What do you think about this potential of this team? What are you looking forward to seeing going into training camp? How do you feel about the Baltimore Ravens running backs? And what do you think is going to happen with this group? Is there a 1,000-yard rusher? Is there a guy I'm not speaking of that you think is going to break out? But like I said, I think all five make the team. Badie could be a practice squad guy. Hill could be mainly on special teams, as we know. Davis could be the bell cow for the first 4 weeks of the season, and we've seen with his numbers he can do serviceable things in a Greg Roman offense. But I think Dobbins and Edwards will be back by the midpoint of the season, and I think at least one of them plays by week 1. I'm going to go with Dobbins playing week 1, and I'm going with Dobbins over 1,000 yards, and I think Edwards won't be too far behind. He could get over 250 to 500 himself. But let me know. Hit that like button. Hit that bell for notifications. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the family. Check the tick out down below to keep up with us on social media. Only place giving you your sports how you want it when you need it. I'll keep those position previews coming for the Baltimore Ravens here on the Flex On Podcast, y'all. Until next time, peace.